the men that you put yourself around were pivotal towards your being able to develop, running businesses. What were some of the biggest lessons that you took away from those men that as soon as you saw it, you were like, I gotta take that and run with that?
Well, I'll tell you this, it's more of a feeling. You just sense it. That's why those of you that want to have a good life, it's in you. You just need the right environment. You need the right mentorship. You need whatever it's going to help you grow that, just like fertilizing a plant helps it grow bigger. The same thing here. And if you don't have that, you're not going to grow. Well, the desire has to be in you. That's why you have a choice. Do you want a better life? Do you want your greatness to come out so people can see your star shine? God's created you for greatness. You have a specific purpose He has for you for greatness. And very few people ever make that. One of the reasons it says in the Bible, write your vision on tablets. Well, we don't write on stone tablets nowadays, but on paper. Write your vision. Do you have a vision? Well, then make up one and write it down, and your mind will tune in to what the vision for you is. And when you have that, then your life can be created. 3% of the population writes their goals down. 97% don't. The 3% are the most successful people in the world. Yet I tell people that all the time when I see them later. I say, have you written down your goals? Oh, no, I got it up here. The Bible didn't say get it up here. It said write it down on stone tablets with a chisel. Now all we got to do is with a ballpoint pen, and we don't do it. Why? If it'll benefit you, why wouldn't you do it? Did you ever think there might be some type of force in the universe that keeps you from your greatness? Because we're created for greatness. But if you don't apply the principles that make you great, you'll never experience your greatness. One more thing, it says, the man or woman without a vision shall perish. Not maybe, not might, they shall perish. Well, does that mean you're going to die? No, you don't die because you don't have a vision, but you can. Let me tell you about my wife that I was married to for 45 years. Her mom lived to be 100. All the last years of her life, I'm going to live to be 100. She had a goal, I'm going to live to be 100. She lived to be 100. Months after that, she died. When you don't have a vision, there's no purpose in living. Well, that can shorten your life, but you don't die just because you don't have a vision. Here's what happens. The greatness God created you for doesn't come about if you don't have a vision and a direction, a focus to go. You're like going around in circles like a motorboat or a rowboat with only one oar going around.
You had mentioned something about fertilizer and how you need fertilizer to be able to grow something up. And it made me think of a young man, either A, has an inactive father, B, an absent father, or C, just a mother who is determined to raise that child by themselves. How does a young boy who doesn't have biblical male influences, or if they do have them, does not have regular access to them, how should their mind shift so that, one, they can contend with the absence of a father, and two, contend with the influence of being raised by a single mother who's trying to do the job of both, obviously can't do it, and so might lash out. He is not in an environment that is well suited to his development as a man to carry himself as he should with duty, be able to take criticism in a proper manner, and to be able to grow knowing that he has things he needs to fulfill. What do you think?
I'd say that 80% of the men in prison never had a father or a father figure. A father is very important. A mother is very important, but they're two different things. I admire a woman that my wife now, that from the Philippines. She raised her 3 daughters by herself, all by herself. Her husband got into drugs, and she took care of him in a separate place so the drug people wouldn't influence her daughters. She raised her 3 daughters. She did it all. She's an incredible lady, but didn't do the job of a man being in the picture. Women are thinking different than men. Men think different than women. And this characteristics of both, when you meld them together, you get the fine product. I'll tell you this, a man especially needs a father figure or a father. Well, it's hard if you don't have a father to get one unless you beat them up, tape them, tie them up, and drag them. You can have a father in the Bible because God the Father says he loves you and cares about you and wants the best for you. That's one way to have a father. Another way is to join groups, a church group, organizations where they have actually organizations where men are willing to be mentors to you. And so that'd be another way. And here's a final way I would say. Supposing you got no other options, but there's a book. There's books. When you read books, it's not a person, but you're getting the heart of what that person thinks. And if you find books that teach you how to be a success in life, not just money. Money's not success. Life is success. A marriage, raising children, making money, helping others, all of that's success. And so you read books, you can learn. They don't teach this anywhere, but you can learn. It's like having a father, if you will. Read a book, and one of the best ones I've read, there's many, is Wild at Heart.
This book I've learned a lot in the past 2.5 years as I have sought the biblical approach to being a man that can lead a ship, especially within this marriage area. And this book, man, everything that it took me the past 2.5 years to learn how to do would have been shortcutted within this 2.5 years, because it speaks so well to the wants and the desires of both the Christian man and the woman, and even outside of the Christian man and Christian woman, just general men and women, period. How men want to be adventurers, hunters, someone on a mission who fights for the desired, the sought after, the prize. And it looks at it in plain black and white, and it acknowledges those basal humanistic needs. And it does tie it in beautifully at saying that if we look at the Father is the holy combination of all of these. The Father is an adventurer with us. He allows us to go out so that he can travel with each one of us, taking on these things. The woman is the one that wants to be desired. The Father wants to be desired by us. The Father wants us to seek him, wants us to go after him, wants us to want to be with him in the same way that our woman wants to be loved, wants to be desired, wants us to do something that they can take pride in and say, that is my man, that's my leader right there. The Father wants us to be a strong, proud leader as a man. And so I say all that to say, this book, Wild at Heart, I'm about 2.5 hours in of the 8.5 hours, and I can already see that. You talk about shortcuts to life, man, this book sets something up for you to understand. If you're willing to take your time with it, I've gone back, I've rewound it so that some of the sections hear it double over, I haven't taken notes. I need to take notes. I want to take notes because this is a recognition. It's if a person were to, people can have revelations in some ways. They can talk to somebody, they can hear something really good, they can read it. This is the type of thing where if you can really sit down and give your focus to it, you will unlock insights to yourself that you were not previously aware of. And people around you maybe didn't understand what you needed to hear, what your basal thing is. People are so shifty trying to figure out like, oh, you're thinking this, but you've been conditioned based off of the propaganda and the misogynistic culture that we have right now. So you're just thinking this. No, dude, at your basal level, you want to be a leader at your basal level. That's why even the guys that sit in their room playing video games all day, what are they truly doing? They are being violent in action with their brothers in arms. They are planning, strategizing, they're conquering. When you see women play games, what are women going to play? They're going to play stuff. Animal Crossing was a game that blew up during COVID. The premise of the game is you go around, you plant these little gardens and you build a village and you do these things to like make something all cute and you hang out with your friends. That's what women blew up during COVID. So we can see just on the selection of video games and the things that they lean towards, the different proclivities that a man and a woman would have towards these things. And the book speaks beautifully towards that.
Let me just throw a quick thought. Something I read recently. I forget how you pronounce it, but a country, small country somewhere that never had television, Bangtu or whatever it is, Banktau. Anyhow, that doesn't matter what it is. Here's the fact. They didn't have television. Recently, in the last year or two, they put in, or 2 or 3 years, they put in satellite dishes for television. And since then, crime, rapes, robberies, murders have started increasing on a regular basis. Folks, whatever you put into your computer brain is what comes in. That saying is not a cute little saying, garbage in, garbage out. People say that like it's a cute little saying. It's so real, it's unbelievable. Your life will become what you put in your brain. Muhammad Ali, the boxer, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest. Well, do you think he had the purpose there? He certainly became the greatest. People think he was lucky and said that because he was a wise guy. He was wiser than people thought. He knew how your brain worked. This is the main programmer. This is the second main programmer here. This is the third main programmer. All those go into your computer. A regular laptop, you do this and you're done. Not this one. You've got to do it over and over and over like a worn path through grass. Near a high school, if the students cut through a lawn, you can see the dirt path where they go. But if one person walks across the lawn, nobody sees they even walked. Well, your brain works the same way. You program it from what you want. What do you program it with? It's automatic. If you're hanging around with bad people, you're automatically going to become bad. If you're hanging around with great people, you're automatically. There's one other saying that popped into my mind. One guy who was a multi-millionaire was asked, what would you do? What's the most important thing you could do to help you succeed? He says, here's what I'd do. He says, I'd become a table cleaner, a busboy at the fanciest restaurant I ever knew, just to be around successful people. Basically, what he's saying is, I want to be programmed by success. Well, you can do that with books. You can do that on a podcast. But you've got to program it with something. And if you don't, people think, oh, I'm not worried about that. Doesn't matter what you think. You're automatically being programmed for every single thing every day of your life that you come near. The worst thing you could ever do is be in another room with the television on in the other room. I've told people this. I've said, you're being brainwashed by that television. Oh, no, it's in the other room. I don't even pay attention. Well, that's even worse. It's bad enough when you do pay attention. At least you screen some of it out. But if you're not watching and paying attention, 100% of it is going in your brain.
That speaks to, there's something that a young man, his name is Caleb, he told me this a while ago. He works with spiritual formation. And he told me that your spiritual health is always in a state of flux. You are never staying at any place. You are either growing spiritually, or you're being moved away spiritually from where you are. And that is exactly correct. And that's how it is with our spirituality that we believe, but also with the heart of how we operate. If you are passively, and this is something that I've been looking at, and it works so well. If a person that I know has the desire to want to get healthy, before I tell them what to change about their diet, what to change about their exercise, I would tell them, spend 2 days within this next week, back to back, 2 days back to back, where any free time that you have, and even passive time, have on content focused around being healthy. Whether it's walking more, whether it's what to eat, whether it's types of exercise, just for 2 days, watch content.
Excellent.
Where that's all it is you being healthier. And then I want you to write down at the end of each day, what you're thinking, how you're feeling, da da da. You will be shocked at how much your mind's focus on that health stuff, even at a passive level, is redirected. Why? Because you're brainwashing yourself essentially
Yep.
with a focus of this thing. Now, if you put on content where people are freaking out about the news and what's going on over in Israel and Palestine and what's going on with all of these issues that are certainly important issues to someone, but for you as the individual guy, this is why I don't talk about a lot of politics on this show and what's going on. Not because it isn't important, but because so many men are not even at the place where they are ready to take care of themselves. They need to get themselves in line before they start worrying about, oh my goodness, what are we going to do if Trump becomes president again? Or, oh my goodness, what are we going to do if Sleepy Joe gets another term in? Dude, you can't even control your anger when somebody cuts you off in traffic and you want to get out and you go to jail for it. That was me, by the way, that I just gave that example of. Guy cut me off a few months ago, and doggone, I pulled up next to him, rolled down my window, said, "What the F is wrong with you?" And then I sat there, he sat there. I'm like, I'm like, ready. And then I'm like, Devontae, what just happened, man? And what was I listening to, though? I was listening to content where it was different people debating these things that I'm not. But what's going on? In my mind, I am consuming contentious content. And so my spirit, my mentality has been geared towards being more contentious with people, not seeking peace with people. And so similarly, if you're a person that is having a hard time with starting a healthier habit, I guarantee you it's probably because you're spending your passive time either A, in your head, where all it's doing is circulating stress and these things that you're feeling overwhelmed by, or B, you're putting content into you that is gearing you towards these anxious, stressed, non-productive places of being. Put on that content that feeds you and educates you about health, and see if you can even stop yourself 5 days later from wanting to try out something that you've learned here.